What's up, y'all? It's good to see you, and I'm glad you're here. It's been a minute since I made some art for me and just for fun, so this was kind of refreshing, honestly. I really needed this. So, I had an old puzzle that I hadn't used, and some old paint that I got from a thrift store. So I'm like, let me do something fun here. So I took some carbon black paint, watered it down a little bit to get it more runny because it was a little dried out. I added some of this acrylic white gesso, which gave me a good base to draw on top of. And if you've never used gesso, it basically it gives you a surface to draw on, basically. So you can add paint to it to give it a different tone. You can make it warm, you can make it cold. This gives you a base color to kind of draw on top of and a surface to draw on top of. So I did that, went over this, which is a little more challenging than I anticipated because puzzles have all these little grooves and stuff, right? So when I tried to draw, it actually was kind of going through and hitting these little grooves and throwing me off a bit. I'm using this Graph Gear 1000 pencil, which I was a little nervous, and actually when I was drawing, because I was worried I was going to poke a hole in the thing or start tearing up the paper. But I took my time, and it actually turned out pretty decent. It got me to a point where I can actually see what I was trying to do, and close enough to the original design that I had in ProtoArt where I can actually just use it. I could have just, thinking about it, I probably could have just transferred it using the projector. But I wanted to do it by hand. And yeah, anyway, it looked good. It looked well enough for me to draw on top of. But I did notice there was a lot of empty space around the sides. So I also started thinking about how I can fill in that space there. I'm using Posca pens or Posca pens. There's a skin color set you can get that helped me get quite a lot of this work done. And I had to go over maybe 3 or 4 times to get a really, really nice, clean surface. Bonus too. Although if you oversaturate it, it can again go into the grooves and go into places you didn't want it to. But anyway, I thought about what I wanted to do for the sides because there's just a lot of empty space. So I thought about one of my earliest YouTube videos that did really well, which was one covering AI art using Stable Diffusion. And I made like a collage of different pieces of me. I also wanted to shout out this creator or whoever makes the skin palette set, because it saved me a lot of time. So when I'm doing the miniature versions of me, I'm using this primarily, and also the Stay Wet palette. If you don't have one of these, I'd recommend getting it. They have various versions that do the same thing. It's just basically a spongy kind of material on the bottom and then a waxy kind of paper on top, and it allows you to dampen it, and whatever paint you put on there stays wet for a while, especially when using acrylic paints. But anyway, I was trying to think of what I wanted to do for the side and realizing it'd be kind of fun to do a collage. So I did various versions of me, sketched those out again. Took quite a lot of time to just the sketching process. But using the Stay Wet palette, I was able to actually accomplish quite a bit of work with this. I used this on this piece quite a lot, and the skin tone melanin I can't say it melanin series paint, there we go, on this piece, and then also this Andre 3000 painting that I'm working on currently as well. You get these, you have to puncture the top, and then the actual cap itself that comes on the paint, you flip it over and you are able to puncture the top of that. If it doesn't have that built in, you could usually use the edge of a pencil or something to kind of poke a hole there. But yeah, just kind of putting little color swatches on this little palette to get me started. Now, even though it wasn't a 1-to-1 match, I got pretty close. So I kind of started filling out some of the things I sketched. I had to find the smallest brush I had, and using that Stay Wet palette, I was able to kind of go back and forth and mix colors a bit more and not worry about the paint drying out and not having that same tone that I had just mixed, because again, my mixing skills aren't the best. So I found stuff that I thought was pretty cool, and I wanted to make something, again, weird and kind of caricature style and mimic the thumbnail that I had made. Not a 1-to-1 match, but like an updated version. Now that I'm in a pretty comfortable spot, I think I'm gonna hop on the airbrush and finish this out. Okay, so I just did a very loose airbrushing on top, adding some highlights and some shadow here and there. And there's a lot of overspray, that's okay. I'm gonna go back in with the Posca pans and the other paint brand there and kind of clean up some of this stuff. I just kind of want to show you the current status. I think next, after I do the Posca pans, I'm gonna clean up the background. And then I'm gonna use this handy dandy little guy here to add some line work and detail to the background characters. Golden brand gloss varnish. There's the cover. So with this little puzzle box, there's a cover that goes on there. I'm gonna take everything out. This goes there. This sits inside. So once you paint this, don't know what to do, so I'm gonna brainstorm some ideas while this is drying and let's get something out. I had so much fun with this project. I had stepped away from doing art for a while and I hadn't done any traditional art in even longer. So this is a fun challenge to kind of dive back into it and get re-excited about, you know, creating art. I did not anticipate, after adding layers and layers and layers of paint and varnish, that this thing would become a brick. So separating this would become a nightmare. I actually had to go through with an X-Acto knife and kind of cut through the grooves in the puzzle again to kind of separate the pieces all out. So I had to do that with the 250 pieces or whatever this was. And the fear was the paint chipping. I did find a technique after a while of kind of, after I worked, you know, through all the edges, of actually holding down the smaller piece of the puzzle while lifting up a separate section. It would kind of allow me to lift it without potentially tearing up the puzzle piece, because there were like 3 that I had to repair, you can see here. But overall, I had a lot of fun with this project. I didn't varnish the cover of this thing. I was kind of tired at this point, so I just ended up putting it in the case and calling it a day. And I had a lot of fun again. Yeah, here's popping in that last little cover. Took a little finagling to get this thing to really set in place, but once it did, I think it really came together. So when you do want to complete this entire puzzle, it'll be a guessing game. But here's the final product, puzzle box completed. All 250 pieces, and cover inserted and cover in place. Anyway, with that being said, hopefully you all enjoy, and as always, be sure to like, subscribe, and I will talk to you all soon. Alright, y'all. Have a good one.